Hi, Scorpio. Welcome to New Era. My name is Emma. And Scorpio, this is your love reading starting today on the 2nd of November. We're already in November. It's crazy. We're officially in your season. We're in Scorpio season doing your reading, and it's all about relationships. So it couldn't fit better if I tried. So I'm gonna start with this mystical wisdom deck to just get like an overall picture of what's going on, and then I'm gonna go over to the the usual decks that I'm usually using. So let's see an overall message here for Scorpio, please. Archangel Raphael. So there seems to have, you seem to be going through some sort of healing, have been going through healing, are going through healing. And what I'm getting with this card, maybe not specifically from the card, but the messages that's coming through here is all about meeting someone new and sort of healing the past together, if that makes any sense. So whatever's been going on for you in the past, it feels like the final puzzle pieces that's going to fall into place within you. I do apologize for the light. Is going to be sort of a bit on and off. It's so windy here and it affects the light. I'm going to be more or less in and out of focus, but don't mind me. It's the cards that is interesting. So yeah, it's like you've gone through some sort of healing in the past and not certain things you can sort of heal unless you're in, I guess you could say, is that final like wonder if it's going to be a really good relationship or not, because some stuff maybe got confused in the past or maybe went to, where in the past. And not until you're with this new, like in a really full and really beautiful healed place. Raphael is all about the healing, all about becoming whole. See this tree of life like coming up here. It's really beautiful. It's like you sort of don't really 100% know. Like you 95% know that you feel whole. You feel maybe that you're loving yourself. You feel more whole and complete than you've done probably in a long time. And not until you actually meet a new person, you can sort of 100% know if it's healed or not. It's almost like it's 0% all of a sudden, because when you meet somebody new, it's like you feel the final puzzle pieces falling into place, because they're literally going to help you with that, because they're the evidence that it has worked. I hope that makes sense. Excuse me. The Psyche Tarot for the heart, John Holland. That's what I'm using for foundation. So let's see. 2 foundations. Just because you can, you got 3. Wow. So we have the World card coming out first. It's going to be interesting here because we have the World card. It's not the World card in this deck. It's Embrace and lucky number 21. This is you like planting a seed long ago. This is like the inner child type of stuff. And if you look like closely at what's in the inner core there's like a golden heart. And the golden heart has spread its roots and it's sort of shining. So think of this as you, like the inner child, the inner golden light, inner golden heart you have within yourself. You let those roots like set root, and you let them spread out through your being, and it's like it's coming out through the whole of you, and you're ready to embrace. This is what I feel. So probably if you're in a committed relationship, I think it has probably not been so good for a while, and this would be the indicator that you're really ready to sort of start again or begin again or try anew. If you're single, this is like your indicator that you're so ready for the world. You're ready to take on a new relationship. You see how the heart has sort of stayed within, like really been not necessarily caved in, but really protected and really guarded around that, like from the earth is sort of surrounding it, and then it's like it's seeping through now, coming up to the surface. So you're so ready to step into this new relationship. And the lucky number 21 there, 21 is all about, it's all about luck. It's all about good things being It's like you just have that expression that you were at the right place at the right time. It just fit. It just made perfect sense. It was timing. So it's an awesome, awesome energy that's going on around you. It could talk about the timing about when you're going to meet this person. We can go deeper and find out about that. And then we have these two interesting cards coming out next here, which don't be freaked out, but it's sort of the Tower, and it's sort of overcoming challenges. So if you're in a committed relationship, I feel like like I said, it feels like there has been some challenging times that we have on the bottom here. It actually says challenging times. Maybe I picked that up when I saw the card. Yeah, it's a Tower. And it's interesting because I always see her as Julie Andrews. Doesn't she look like Julie Andrews? Sound of Music. She probably has done heaps of other things as well, but the Sound of Music is what comes through here. So there's something about music, rebuilding, being around things that sort of sets the tone, if that makes sense, like sets the tone for you to feel better. This is the rebuild. So I don't feel like this is going on now. I don't feel like this is going on yesterday. This was a while back. So it's just talking about how the Tower has been here and shook things up. Number 16 is all about sudden shift and sudden changes. And working through that for if you're in a committed relationship. And this is what I got from the other card. It feels like, no, from this. The healing. It's like we have been through some tough times. Number 5 is all about overcoming obstacles, overcoming hurdles. It's also change and life path, or change in your life path. And because we have a Tower next to it, I think it sort of blew stuff out of proportion. It blew stuff out that needed to be blown out, if that makes sense. Maybe we don't ever think that there is a point to an explosion. But this is all about something needed to shake you up, or something needed to get you out of your route, if that makes sense. And sometimes our inner being will do things that you, at the very early stages, will say, I didn't ask for this, or I didn't, why is this necessary? And then at the end of the game, at the end of the day, at the end of that cycle, you go, oh, I see it now. I understand why that needed to happen. And so it's interesting because first is like, we have this shield up. It's like you protected yourself. It's very much like one man for himself, one woman for herself. Feeling guarded, feeling protected, having a bit of trust issues here is what I feel. And then it's like we have this Tower moment happening, and however different that has come out in each and everyone's life, it doesn't necessarily have to be like a one event incident that has sort of shook everything up. A Tower moment can be little moments, or just a period of time in time space where one thing led to the other, led to the other, led to the other, and it's like at some point you just go, no, this has got to change, this has got to shift. It can be a sudden event, a sudden shift, something really shaking you to the core. At the end of the day, it is freaking Julie Andrews that stands there with a full, like, coming back. It's a rebuild. It's a rebuilding card. You rebuild yourself, and you are making contact with the heart. It's like the heart. It's interesting because now when I've said all of this, I want to go back to this and say, that's right. We had that little caved golden heart inside of you. And after dealing with all of this, after overcoming some relationships, or one relationship, or some hurdles within the still committed relationship, you're ready to fly. Like, you're ready to take on the world. You're ready to have it surface. So it's like you've opened up your trust. You open up your faith. You open up your heart. You're willing to try again. You're willing to try again if you're in a committed relationship. You're willing to get in the game if you're single. It's a really beautiful thing. I understand more, like, with this, like, okay, we're going to meet somebody and you're 95% healed, but not until you step into that relationship you will know for sure that you're 100% healed, because they will help you. And those 95% are only so interesting if it worked. that's what I picked up from here, and I understand that more now because we've had this situation, full blowout somehow, some way, for the Scorpio, and you're working on opening up that heart again, for sure, and you are ready to take on the world. It's really beautiful. The yellow is all about solar plexus, is all about self-worth, self-confidence, faith, trust, and then it's surrounded by the like so much red, beautiful red there, which speaks about the new foundation that you're laying now. It's a new beautiful foundation, new strong base. So I love this. So can we go deeper? If there's some sort of timing here to meeting this person, we want to know. If there's anything else we want to know. Thank you. Now I'm using the Fairy Tarot cards by Doreen Virtue. Oops, I'm sorry. Let me just look at these for a bit. Yeah, beautiful. So Ace of Spring, we want that there. 4 and 8. So 4 and 8 and Ace. It's beautiful numbers. So 4 is all about your heart. It's all about laying a new foundation. 8 is all about endless possibilities now. And also what you've sent out is now coming back. What you've sent out is now coming back. So above. It's always some sort of Canadian dialect slip. So above, so below. So in heaven, so on earth. Endless possibility. The infinity sign. They're very, it's almost like they're describing again like that heart that was sitting in the cave. If this is not hermit mode, I don't know what is. This is like sitting in the tree. It reminds me of, what was that reading? Is that, okay, there's a reading that's called Breaking Down the Walls, and I don't know, it's so mind-blowing that I can't remember which one it was for. Breaking Down the Walls, and it was interesting because there I said it could have been Gemini or Virgo. That like breaking down the walls, that's also German. We're breaking down the walls, and you were sort of having a wall up from the beginning in Germany, sorry, in Gemini or Virgo. And it was like at one stage, okay, we're not having a brick wall anymore. We're moving into the oak tree. And it was like, it was a literal door there. So maybe you have a placement in whatever reading that was, whether that was Gemini or Virgo, wherever it says, they're going to break your walls down. You might have a placement there. You might want to check that reading out. For winter, this is all about being in hermit mode and staying safe and not wanting to play the game. This is like the early withdrawal, and this is the deeper explanation of the number 5 and the tower here. So I get it. It was a while when you needed to just retrieve and go back and tend to yourself, I think, for a bit, just to start to rebuild yourself. And then we have 8 of winter, which seems like, okay, I'm willing to come out of the tree now. I'm still in this ice block. I'm still like floating around in the water, and it's still quite cold. It's still quite stagnant. We're on the move because we're not this stuck, but we're still not, we're rebuilding ourselves, but it has taken some time, is what I'm getting with this card. Still just an explanation of what's going on there around the tower. And then Ace of Spring underneath the World card. It's time to take action, be fearless, and happily pursue your most treasured dreams, amazing career opportunities. Since this is a love reading, I mean, it can be career opportunities, but since this is a love reading, we have there again a red border, which speaks about, again, laying a new foundation. And Ace is all about like new beginnings, number one, starting fresh, starting new chapter. it almost looks like an infinity sign there again. It's like endless possibilities that you're stepping into now. So sometimes if there is like a message for you in terms of work, if you feel like, no, that is for work, then keep it. Then just feel like, okay, no, that is for work. Sometimes if I do like a career reading, and somebody is sort of pointing out that is like my love life, then of course use it as that. It's a general reading, so it's tough to fit all. But there's some sort of news here coming in with this beautiful little birdie there, and we have a beautiful blue butterfly, several blue butterflies, which speaks about transformation. And then we have this beautiful magnolia tree. And the magnolia tree, maybe you heard me at this point talking about the magnolias, but the magnolia flower has been around for ages. Literally has been around for ages. But I wasn't receiving them until like maybe a year ago. It started to show up. And the magnolia sort of took over the rose. The rose holds the highest vibration out of all the flowers. And all of a sudden the magnolia started to make itself known. And eventually I just sort of just said, maybe I should look into this. Like what is this with the magnolia? And it turns out that the magnolias has coexisted with the dinosaurs. They've been around for 20 million years. And one might wonder, how is that possible? Because we know that we need bees in order to keep the flower gardens alive. And for some reason, they managed to survive on this little black beetle that was nourishing the flowers back then. And so it's also a lot about like thriving through the most harsh circumstances, and not only thriving, not only coming out as just one single white magnolia, but here we have those pink ones, the spring flowers. You're not going to be able to walk down like as in springtime in those magnolia trees and not think of this, how they've been here for over 20 million years. It's astounding, and how they survived it all. And since this is like the I see this as the infinity sign, if I can point right. Infinity sign goes up there and down here, and up there and down there, including the magnolia tree, and it's like you're pointing to where it's going to go. So it's almost like an eternalness of, you sent wishes out and it's going to start to come back, and you sent wishes out and it's going to start to come back. Even so, there's been something about you being resilient, you being able to sort of step through all these harsh times, and maybe perhaps even surviving or even thriving in the most of hard circumstances where usually probably not a lot of other people would have not even survived, but let alone thrived. So I love that. And it was something more with that. Right, not only is it white, it has branched out to 400 different versions of itself. So it's like, it's super, super cool. Read up on it if you want to, if you're interested. It's really, really cool. And I just felt the feeling of magic around it. It was just very, very magical. So I know every time now a magnolia shows up, it's like, yeah, full on capable of creating everything you want. It's magic in the air, and you're in on it. Like, you know what you're creating right now. You're not oblivious to like what's going on around you. When the magnolia is here, it's like it's your touch on it. Okay? So this is like getting ready to sort of be in the world again, start this new love relationship again, wanting to try again. Huge transformation there with butterflies, and a little birdie is whispering about this. Like, the birds sort of brings the messages for me, and so it's like the bird whispers about this new relationships. It's really gorgeous. Or new second chance, like second chances for already committed relationships, but it's a fresh new start. Okay, beautiful. I didn't really get a timeline there, I wouldn't say. Maybe spring is the first thing that we got, but let's see if there's going to show up some sort of timeline for when to meet this person if you're single. So what else do we want to tell Scorpio, please? love when that happens. Two complete opposite cards. So it's like we continue on to sort of tell the story of, and maybe it is because some of you guys still feel like you're a bit torn, you're a bit somewhere in the between, Scorpio. So it's like, first we had this number 2. We have 2 here today on today's date. 2 is all about conversation, communication, and relationships. And this is my refusing to see. It's like we have the third eye being very active. It could be very active. And this is you sort of not wanting to have any part in it. And so I feel like this is explaining like what happened in the past with the tower moment there and overcoming hardship and stuff. And like not wanting to see. It's like you could have had woulda, coulda, shoulda. Like it's not even interesting. But it's like in the past, I think some part of it, I don't know why they have me say this, because it's not, it's almost like it's almost like I'm refusing to say it, me refusing to say it, because it's like, why put that on them if they're not, like, you're not in the situation anymore. And like if you knew better, if you could have done better, you would have done better, right? You only do as best you can with the knowledge and information and wisdom you have at the time. And it's so interesting when some say, if you could go back and change anything, would you? Of course not, because of course you could. If you could have done differently, you would have, right? So I don't know why they are having me say this, but there's something about, if you wouldn't have refused to see in the past, not like all of what has happened led up to this place needed to happen. Maybe it's a lesson for the future. Like, it feels like a lot of stuff was put on you, but also a lot of stuff was self-inflicted, if that makes any sense. So some stuff that has happened in the past is self-inflicted. And isn't it all because we have, like, our vibration is always active, so you're receiving, you're attracting due to whatever vibration that is active. But is this you doing this, Scorpio? Is this you saying, I should have known better, I should have been smarter, I should have chosen differently? Is this you beating yourself up a bit? Because if it is, I feel really horrible. It's like, I don't want to, like, why do you want to have me say that? Because I don't want to say that to you. Like, you could have done better, or if you wouldn't put yourself through certain things, half of it maybe didn't need to happen. But that's like bullcrap, because in the midst of everything, and why we now have this, and let's just wait till you see the next card. Why you're stepping into this most beautiful place with a new world and a new, like, newfound golden heart within yourself is because you've been in this shitty, the complete opposite of it. It's like the polar opposites that always are at play. And the further down the rabbit hole you're willing to go, the further up the mystical Vintergatan, Winter's Gate. You don't say that. Milky Way. The further up the Milky Way you can come. So it's like, no, I don't know. I think Scorpio, that maybe you've been a bit tough on yourself. You should have known better. You should have acted differently. No, you shouldn't, because you couldn't at the time. And the thing is that you didn't want to, even. Maybe you didn't want to, but I'm telling you, you didn't want to, because of the darker stuff that you've been through, the darker, and Scorpio, this is Scorpio, we have to remember that. It's like the deepest felt emotion. The deeper you dare and are willing to go, the higher you can go. So it's nothing wrong with what has happened. And look what you're stepping into. Number 19, Shine. This is like my sun card. This is 19, which speaks about the Princess of Heaven. It speaks about Prince of Heaven. I do apologize. Sorry, did not put my phone off. But maybe somebody's waiting on a call. Maybe somebody's going to get a call. Maybe you're feeling like you want to call somebody. You're waiting for a message to happen, and it's going to happen any day now, any time now. Is when I picked up this card. So you're awaiting a call from a certain someone that really wants to reach you. They just call to say they love you. Or you just call to say you love them. Number 19, Prince of Heaven. Number 19, Princess of Heaven. This is so much like opening up that heart of yours, coming down from the inner circle of the earth through the surface and up, and just feeling it. And it's very similar to me. You're just letting it shine on the outside. It's like, but it's, you see how much it's piercing through from the inside. You're just surrendering. It's such a surrendering card. It's such a giving up. It's almost a very receiving. It feels very receiving. Like as much as you're willing to give out, like of your entire being, it's like it feels like you're so open. I understand that even this feels a bit like you want to put this up in front of her. It's almost like it's a tiny bit scary for you, Scorpio, like how exactly open this is. It's so vulnerable. It's so open and so honest. And there's something with this card that makes me feel a bit like uncomfortable. Not me uncomfortable, but the feelings that are coming through here is a bit uncomfortable. So I get why there's like a bit of back and forth here. Like we had a strong tower wanting to shield, wanting to protect, building this nest within the oak tree, not wanting to come out, refusing to see. I don't want to see. It's safer, it's more sound to sit in this tree and not see anything. And then like the complete opposite of that starts to happen because you keep asking for the new and the new improvement. And so we have the lucky number 21 with the world there and starting to shine through. The beauty, the golden heart is coming up to the surface, is shining through. It's a new beginning. It's like something that has been passed on, some beautiful love, some like from the very origin, from very, very back when. There is a connection with a certain someone that is sort of coming through, and it's like you lived over and over and over again. And this is the time, I think this is the time of the greatest choice, probably. It's a bit back and forth between still not completely 100% being out of the old era, if you will, and stepping into the new era, if you will, pun intended. This is like when you're starting to shine your shine. And really, really are being open and vulnerable and ready to receive this person or this new version of your already committed relationship. It's absolutely beautiful. I'm going to go deeper and see what else I can find about this gorgeous relationship. So if you want to, the link is in the extended link is in the description box down below. There's a little arrow. Some people keep asking, where do I find this? It's a little arrow just, or maybe there, right under this video. If you just click the arrow, a little curtain falls down and there says extended reading is the first link there. It's in the blue. You just press it and you will get to the extended. If not, thank you so much for watching and I hope to see you back soon. Take care, guys.